In the early 1980s, people from the local community and employees of the United States Forest Service realized they were seeing an important historic icon deteriorating and being lost to future generations. So restoration efforts were started with the help and coordination of many Forest Service employees, volunteers, and the Bay Mills Brimley Historical Society. The original lighthouse was built of wood and stone. After a dozen or so years of use, the lighthouse keeper, Charles Caldwell, noted that the building was falling into disrepair due to wear from Lake Superior's powerful storms. In 1870, the lighthouse and tower were rebuilt with brick and mortar. That same sturdy tower stands today. The single most important piece of equipment at a lighthouse is the beacon, which consists of three parts: the light, the lens, and the tower. Together, these components provide security for mariners by helping them determine their location and avoid hazards. The light, the first component of the beacon. The light emanated from lamps placed inside of a lens. For most of the 19th century, light was produced by burning different types of oils with either a flat or round wick until the invention of the incandescent oil vapor lamp. The Point Iroquois light was changed from an oil wick light to incandescent oil vapor in 1913, and from oil vapor to electricity in 1933. The Fresnel lens, the second part of the beacon. The lens is a set of polished glass rings which redirected light and projected it in a focused beam across the horizon. This revolutionary lens was created by French physicist named Augustin Fresnel in 1822. In 1852, the U.S. Lighthouse Board mandated that U.S. lighthouses replace older lens styles with the Fresnel lens, a transition which was completed by the end of the Civil War. The Fresnel lens typically came in different sizes or orders, with first order being the largest, ranging down to the smallest of the sixth order. The order was determined by the lens size and focal length. In 1939, Point Iroquois Lighthouse had a fourth order bullseye pattern. Such lenses were often distinguished by a unique beehive shape that was formed by a series of glass rings. The Fresnel lens that Point Iroquois Lighthouse was using when it was shut down in 1963 was in very good condition and was placed in the Smithsonian Institute. The lens you see here is a fourth order Fresnel lens on loan from Martin's Reef Light on Lake Huron. The tower is the third component of the beacon. Point Iroquois Tower, as it stands today, was erected in 1870 and is approximately 65 feet tall. Its 72-step spiral staircase was climbed to the cupola by the keeper and assistant keepers every 2 hours during the many years the light was illuminated by oil wick light and incandescent oil vapor. Point Iroquois Lighthouse was added to the National Register of Historic Places in 1975. The Bay Mills Brimley Historical Society, in cooperation with the Forest Service, installed the 1950s display to give a glimpse of what life was like while the lighthouse was active, with families in residence. In 1884, a fog bell was installed just east of the lighthouse as another warning for ships. It struck once every 12 seconds. In 1890, the fog signal building was built on the beach 400 feet from the lighthouse. The building measures 22 feet by 40 feet. A steam engine powers a 10-inch by 18-inch whistle. The whistle emitted a 5-second blast every 30 seconds. Using water from a nearby well, it took 30 to 45 minutes to reach the working pressure of 75 pounds. In 1896, the old bell tower was taken down and relocated to the station at Grand Marais, Michigan. In 1900, a 40-foot tall brick chimney replaced the fog signal's original sheet iron smokestacks. In 1827, the fog signal was changed from a steam whistle to a first-class air siren. In 1933, the fog signal was again changed, this time to a Type B air diaphone. Electricity provided by generators powered the compressors in order to operate the diaphone. Electricity was also extended to the tower and dwelling at that time. In 1963, Point Iroquois Lighthouse and fog signal were deactivated. Following advancements in navigation technology, Point Iroquois Light was extinguished in 1963. A few years prior, the Canadian government had established an automated light, the Gros Cap Light Station, in Lake Superior, 2 miles northeast of Point Iroquois on the international border. With the activation of that navigational aid, Point Iroquois Light was rendered obsolete. The boardwalk was built in the mid-1990s in order to provide access to the lakeshore for all visitors and to preserve the sensitive dune vegetation that holds the dunes in place. The boathouse was 400 feet from the lighthouse, situated on the shore. You can see remnants of the boathouse because high water has washed away some of the shoreline. During low water levels, the pilings for the dock are also visible. One of the lighthouse keepers had masonry skills, so to pass the time, he organized the lighthouse children to carry rocks up from the beach and began creating the rock wall. He wrote about slowly building it and how they wanted it to look. Today, that original rock wall still adds charm to the Point Iroquois Lighthouse grounds. The kiosk has local information, including excerpts from the lighthouse keepers' journals, the history of the native people, an explanation of how the area acquired its name, and a summary of how Point Iroquois Lighthouse has been used over the years. Today, Point Iroquois Lighthouse's volunteer caretakers reside in the western side of the building. They watch over the grounds, answer questions from visitors, keep the bathrooms clean, and clear the boardwalk year-round. The Hiawatha National Forest, through an agreement with the Eastern National Forest Interpretive Association, the lighthouse is also home to a bookstore that sells books and other items relevant to the local area, tribal culture, maritime past and present, the Great Lakes, and the Forest Service, which includes the work of local authors and artists. Community involvement has been crucial to the preservation of Point Iroquois Lighthouse over the years. And recently, an agreement has been signed with the local Bay Mills Indian community for management of the site.